Welcome to This Explainer. Let's dive right into something we all deal with literally every single day. We are constantly interacting with people, right? We're giving help, we're receiving favors. But so often, these seemingly simple interactions get, well, emotionally complicated. So today, we're exploring a fascinating philosophical framework that completely shifts how we interact with gratitude and the everyday resources we use.
I mean, think about it. Have you ever felt entirely indebted to someone for just a simple favor? We've all been there. Someone goes out of their way to help you. Maybe they lend you a few bucks, help you move apartments on a weekend, or introduce you to a job contact. And suddenly, bam, you feel this heavy, sometimes super uncomfortable burden of owing them. It's almost like this invisible ledger has been opened up in the relationship and you are suddenly deep in the red.
But actually, let's flip that scenario around for a second. Have you ever done something really nice for a friend and then silently expected them to constantly remember it? You probably didn't say it out loud, but there's that quiet, nagging expectation in the back of your mind. I helped them out, so they kind of owe me now. It highlights this universal social friction. When our help goes seemingly unappreciated, it breeds resentment. It turns human connection into this transactional, ego-driven game.
To figure out how to resolve this friction, we're going to look at a source text known as Birinci Söz, which translates to the first word. It introduces a really profound philosophical framework that steps entirely outside of our modern tit-for-tat way of viewing relationships. It provides a completely different lens through which to view human generosity and ultimately gratitude.
That new lens is summarized perfectly in this one maxim: give in the name of Allah, take in the name of Allah. Now, let's just pause on that for a second. This absolutely does not mean ignoring human interaction or refusing to say thank you to the people around you. Not at all. Rather, it's about elevating the exchange. It's about recognizing a much higher purpose in the interaction so that the human ego doesn't get a chance to ruin things.
Let's deconstruct this, starting with the art of giving. There is a massive difference between giving just to prove your superiority versus giving without any expectation at all. The framework teaches that true giving shouldn't be used as evidence of your own status. I mean, when you give just to gather praise or to feel powerful, you're making the whole act entirely about yourself. True giving, under this philosophy, is completely stripped of that self-serving motive.
The text actually gives a really great micro-scenario to bring this to life. Imagine you are tutoring a friend, helping them understand a really difficult lesson. Giving correctly means purposefully not holding that over their head afterward. You don't belittle them, you don't casually drop little reminders about how you saved their grade. You share your knowledge, and then you just let it go completely. But how do we actually achieve that level of detachment?
Well, we achieve it through something called imanet, which translates to trust awareness. It is the conscious realization that resources are temporarily entrusted to us, not fundamentally owned by us. When you realize that the knowledge you use to tutor your friend isn't something you inherently own, but rather something you are temporarily managing, your ego deflates pretty quickly. You shift your whole perspective from strict ownership to responsible stewardship.
And what exactly are we stewards of? These entrusted blessings aren't some mystical, abstract concepts. They are highly relatable to your everyday life. Your time, your intellect, the money in your bank account, your specific talents, even the technology you have access to right now. The text emphasizes that all these capabilities are essentially on loan to you. So when you give money or time, you are merely distributing what was entrusted to your care in the first place.
Okay, so that covers giving, but what about the art of taking? How we receive things is exactly where we tend to struggle the most. We either become overly subservient to the person who helped us, or we swing the other way and act entitled. The source material outlines a very specific, balanced way to receive a blessing, focusing on the right way to show gratitude without ever forgetting the intermediaries.
Here is that exact chronological flow for mindful gratitude. Step 1, accept the blessing with awareness. Step 2, and this is absolutely crucial, thank the human intermediary. The text is totally explicit that you must not forget the human who delivered the kindness to you. And finally, step 3, praise the true creator. It's kind of like you thank the postman for delivering the package, but you thank the sender for the actual gift inside.
To really anchor this concept, the text provides a brilliantly simple micro-scenario, the act of receiving a basic glass of water from someone. It's something that happens every single day, right? Someone hands you water, you drink it. But if we apply mindful gratitude, this mundane little moment becomes a profound exercise. Let's break down exactly what is happening here.
Think about the intermediary's action. They got up, walked to the sink, filled the glass, and handed it to you. You absolutely thank them for that effort, for sure. But simultaneously, consider the creator's action.
creating the very molecular structure of water, designing the global weather systems to send rain, and intricately designing your own human body to experience thirst so you can even enjoy that hydration. Acknowledging the vastness of the Creator's work doesn't cancel out the human act. It just perfectly contextualizes it.
Which brings us to the golden rule of this entire framework. Do not wrong the intermediary, meaning, hey, don't be ungrateful or dismissive of the person helping you, but do not give them the Creator's place. This wonderfully balanced perspective is the key to the whole thing. It prevents you from being crushed under the weight of indebtedness to another human because you know they are the delivery mechanism, and it totally prevents arrogance because you know everything is a gifted provision.
When we compare these two mindsets side by side, treating resources as owning the blessing naturally leads to hoarding, entitlement, and using things purely for selfish gain. But shifting to the ethical alternative the source advocates, carrying it with trust awareness, changes your entire relationship with the world. When you carry a blessing, like intelligence or wealth, knowing it's a trust, you become a conduit for good, rather than just an endpoint.
And that naturally introduces a huge point, the responsibility of the receiver. The text makes a really powerful connection here. When you take something consciously, recognizing both the intermediary and the true owner, you are inherently bound to use that blessing ethically. A blessing taken with this deep awareness can literally never be used for harm. You wouldn't use entrusted time or talent to damage yourself or others because you deeply respect the source it came from.
So I have a challenge for you. Can you do a favor today without showing off, without bringing it up later, and without expecting anything in return? It is incredibly difficult to silence the ego like that, but practicing this trust awareness is the absolute first step to truly selfless giving. And on the flip side, consider your habits of receiving. When you receive a blessing next, whether it's a major career break or literally just someone holding the elevator door for you, can you master the correct way of showing gratitude? Can you genuinely thank that human intermediary while simultaneously praising the true owner in your heart? That is the ultimate balance of taking.
So I'll leave you with this. Which blessing will you look at with this new perspective today? Whether it's the knowledge you just gained, the skills you use for your job, or simply the very next glass of water you drink, try applying this lens. Shift from ownership to stewardship, master that balance of gratitude, and just watch how it transforms your daily interactions. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.